Cool. I think we'll get started just because I know we've got quite a jam-packed session for everyone today. So, yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. I hope you've had a good morning, day, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. If you haven't seen me before, nice to meet everyone. I'm Izzy. I'm the head of marketing here at Diginius, and we're super excited to bring you this webinar today, actually, about premium streaming on Microsoft advertising. As you know, we are living in a world where streaming and second screening are the norm, and audiences are way more engaged with video nowadays, which means huge opportunities, as you all know, for advertisers. But for many PPC advertisers, we know kind of stepping into this premium streaming world can be kind of an unfamiliar territory, which is why we put this session together to really explore how you can work with this potential of streaming on Microsoft, which, by the way, delivers a huge 5.2 billion monthly impressions in the UK alone, reaching audiences across your Netflix, Disney Plus, Channel 4, and more. So we are also really excited as well in this webinar. Let me just flip through to announce some really incredible partnerships with the top tier, incredibly talented video production houses that we've partnered with to help collaborate and support our agency partners in creating high quality content that's also can work on Microsoft Advertising's premium streaming. So today we'll also be hearing from our video partners. So we have John from Mustard Films, we've got Nick from Rocking Horse, and we have Mish and Trev from Yo-Yo Pop. So really excited to introduce you guys to them. And also we've got Lucas, Senior DMV Specialist from Microsoft. If you're familiar with our webinars, you would have definitely seen Lucas's face before. So really excited to kind of explore the overview of premium streaming on Microsoft today. As some housekeeping, please feel free to ask any questions throughout the webinar in the chat below. And if we have time at the end, we will answer some questions. But if not, we will be sending all of the follow-ups and answers to your questions as well. So feel free to spam the chat throughout. But without further ado, I'm going to pass over to our founder and CEO, Nate Burke, to give a quick overview on Diginius and how we can support agencies on premium streaming.
Hi there, good afternoon or good morning if you're in the US. Wanted to kind of cover briefly the reason we got into this. As you may know, Diginius, we're Microsoft Advertising's kind of global channel partner of the year. We support over 1,100 agencies in 60 countries to get better results on Microsoft Advertising. And there was we did quite a bit of an initial push with Microsoft following their purchase of Xandr. They picked up the streaming platform and then were able to get the first rights to sell advertising on Netflix and do that technology. And we did a quite a big push with a lot of our partners to get them whitelisted in the alpha kind of program to get first access to advertise on Netflix. And the we had a lot of agencies sign up, a lot of clients get really excited, and then as they got whitelisted and put it up there, and then put the actual video content in, a lot of it, the companies didn't have the right content or didn't have, they might have something produced for YouTube, but not something that was quality enough to be approved to show on places like Netflix. And so if you kind of go back up to the first slide, we've got Microsoft has a now kind of expanded this into premium streaming to go across a lot of different streaming platforms, and it varies by market. So, but you can advertise all over the world in these different areas. A lot of this is the only way to kind of get through it, and it's expanding kind of rapidly, particularly after acquiring my Activision Blizzard and so forth. There's also the ability in broadcast advertising, it requires large budgets, but with premium streaming and in the Microsoft platform, Lucas will get into a lot of the details of it soon, but there's no minimum spend, so you can test and you can also target. So when people watch their premium streaming, they are tied to a login, which means you can target them. So you can kind of, whether it's working with an audience or working with postcode or zip code, regional, so you can do a lot of targeting very specific audiences that make it highly effective and kind of accessible to companies that never would have before considered even being able to advertise. And a lot of companies, we've got a number of partners that have talked about how even small companies, if their clients or prospects see them on, say, Netflix or Disney Plus and so forth, they're quite impressed and think, oh, those guys must be huge, and you can achieve that with not the largest of budgets. So we kind of wanted to do this webinar almost backwards. So typically we go through all the Microsoft stuff and then show the others. This time, what we want to do, because the ability to produce, what we did after this kind of push with a lot of our partners, we said, hey, the big blocker here is having really premium, high quality content that's accessible. And so we have partnered with a few different kind of media houses where they can come and produce content that's compliant, that's engaging, that tells the story, that can be used in these networks and get approved for places like Netflix. And so we've got three of our partners here. So we're going to have them kind of go through and give an intro and do a show clip and all that. And we have, we can kind of introduce you to them later. And we have a whole toolkit on how to do video advertising and and they all will start at accessible levels. Like it's not going to cost 20, 50, 100K to produce a video. They start at say 5K. And then of course, if it's, it can go anywhere from there, but it is accessible to most, any kind of serious advertiser. So, so yeah, back to you, Izzy, to kind of introduce the partners.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Nate. Let me just stop sharing my screen. Cool. So yeah, as Nate was saying, really excited that we've been able to bring all three of our incredible video partners onto this webinar today. I think we're going to start off with John from Mustard Films to give a little introduction on what he does and a show reel.
Hello everyone, this is John from Mustard Film. Just trying to distract you while I set up. Is that working for everyone?
Yeah, all good.
Great, fantastic. So hello there. Yeah, I'm John from Mustard Film. Thanks so much for the introduction, Izzy and Nate. It's an absolute pleasure to be here today. We're thrilled to be working as a partner at the team at Digenius and alongside two other incredible creative agencies too. It's an absolute honour. These introductions are quite short today, so I'm going to start by going over with you how we can make connected TV advertising simple for your clients, get them cost-effective solutions on footage they might already own, or shoot completely new streaming TV advertisements. So I'll also cover a little bit about how we can optimize budgets for these campaigns and a little bit about the process that we work to too. So if I can work out how to use this. Okay, so as I've said, I'm John Rhodes, the founder and creative director of Mustard Film. I've been in TV and video production for over 25 years as a director of photography. I know what you're thinking, how can you have been in it for 25 years when you're 25? How can that be? Thanks a lot for that. We are Mustard Film, a bespoke video production and advertising agency. We're built on authentic storytelling and making connected TV advertising accessible to all businesses. So Mustard Film is a free, strong team, a creative director and a director of photography, that's me, a professional TV advertising editor called Matt, and a resident TV commercial director, Nick. But we can scale for any kind of large shoots. We have over 200 creatives on our books, and we're lucky enough to have some incredible directors that work with us too. Next slide. So we've created content for some amazing brands you can see on the presentation over there, including EE, Foot Locker, Currys, Charles Worthington and Virgin. We've also collaborated with MSC Saatchi on campaigns spanning online content and traditional TV ads for several years now. So we also love working with charities like RSPCA, Age UK, Red Cross. We also just started giving 5% of our profits to a local charity, which we're really happy about. It makes everything so much more fulfilling, and there's a lot of reasons we do this, and that's one of them. So I'm just going to start the reel in the background. Apologies if it's a little bit loud. but I want to talk to you a little bit longer. So I'm just going to play some of the work we're most proud of on the screen, and I'll continue talking. So what sets us apart? We believe video shouldn't be exclusively to big budgets. So we work fast, we work smart, and we work with a genuine passion for storytelling and your client's business. We know some of your clients expect results pretty fast, I imagine. So that's why we deliver a certain project in as little as 2 to 3 weeks sometimes. I'm probably going to regret saying that, but we try to stick to those kind of rules. We're also used to working with real life budgets too, so we can work to any kind of budget. We maximise every frame we shoot, the hero piece, the social cut downs, and we can also shoot a little behind the scenes content for you, for your clients should they require it, which makes it really engaging and a lovely little social post. We approach every project with the idea of getting your client as much content as we can for their social channels too. So here's a little bit about our process. We give is a quick overview of how the process works. We try and stick to these kind of six simple steps. So step 1 is the discovery session, where we get all to the heart of your client's brand, what they do, who they help, and why it matters. Step 2 is a story structure. We kind of shape that message so it's clear, focused, and built for connecting for connected TV on screen. And then step 3 is creative treatment. This is where we explore how it will become, the life, the tone, the visuals, the voiceover, all tailored for CTV. And step 4 is the storyboard and the script. We map out and we write a tight platform-ready script. Your client signs off before we start filming. Step 5 is the production. We handle everything, the filming, animation, voiceover, editing. And we make sure it's smooth from start to finish, so there's no complications throughout the whole process. Step 6 is filming and final edit. Once it's shot, we cut version 1, and after that there are no amendments. Yeah, right, of course, yeah. But we deliver a ready-to-go ad, stream ready and fully approved. It's clear, done-for-you process that fits around your client's workflow. So if you'd like to know any more details, we happily talk you through our process on another call at a time that you get more convenient. So we're also quite savvy with new technologies like AI, and we're kind of using a lot of it for our shot lists and storyboarding, and for kind of the big budget shots that we wouldn't be able to achieve on those kind of budgets, we can also use AI technology. We also add motion graphics animation to help your clients stand out on the big screen. So last slide here, this might look like chaos, but we really think it sets us apart. Before we touch a camera, we delve deep into your client's brand story and user persona. We understand exactly who they're speaking to and how they interact with their brand. Here's a quick example of the client's workflow flow on screen. It's a bit hectic, but we wanted to understand this before we even think about the approach to the CTV advert. We work through this kind of flow chart with the client to understand their processes, their touch points, and where the CTV advertising fits into their customer journey. Great video isn't all about beautiful shots. I mean, it is, obviously, and we love that part of it, but it's understanding your audience. So every frame moves them through to the next part of their marketing funnel. So that's how we ensure every piece of content drives real results for your customers. Sorry, I feel like I'm speeding through this. We'd love to chat to you about how we can support your clients' connected TV campaigns, whether that's maximizing existing footage and video assets that they've already had in their business, or creating bespoke high-impact CTV ads that integrate seamlessly with your Diginius campaigns. We're here to make the whole process less daunting for you, and would love to chat to you all about how we can help your customers get their story onto the big screens. Connect with me on LinkedIn on the left-hand side, or connect with me on the right-hand side to our website. So thank you all, and I really look forward to getting to know you all, and getting to know your agencies, and getting your agency's CTV ready.
Thanks, John. We've got one question from Nabil. What's the budget range?
So as you spoke about before, Nate, it kind of like it varies, obviously, how long's a piece of string, but it's from the kind of £5,000 is what we kind of benchmarked on these kind of projects to bring it to a level that can be achievable for quite a lot of businesses, really.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, John.
No problem.
Great. Yeah, thanks, John. Really, really happy to have you on board. Next, let's go to one of our other incredible video partners. We have Nick from Rocking Horse Pictures.
Hello, hello. Right, so let me just pull this up on screen. So can you see my screen?
Yeah, all good.
Great. Yeah, well, yeah, pleasure to be here. So yeah, I'm going to try and stick to this sort of 5-minute slot. But yeah, absolutely delighted to be here, and thank you for your interest. And So, my name is Nick Lowe. I'm co-founder of Rocking Horse Pictures. Funny enough, I've been in video for 25 years as well, and yeah, all things sort of video and animation. In terms of Rocking Horse Pictures, so just a month or so ago, we crossed our 4,000th project point, and yeah, that's across a 15-year span. Rocking Horse Pictures are in the UK top 50 production companies. And we've been winning lots of awards, which is very exciting. And actually, on Tuesday night, we got 2 golds at the EVCOM Clarion Awards, which we're very proud of, and just is testament to the team's talent and capabilities. So where we're working in is this kind of B2B space. So we work with big global B2B brands. And so we understand this space incredibly well. And it's sectors that involve, sort of banking, financial services, legal, professional services, tech. And there's a lot of brand compliance and compliance that's related to the sectors that they're in. So it's something that we have to take incredibly seriously and we're very familiar with. Our sort of unique value proposition is based around turning sort of complex ideas into engaging video and animation. So in the space that we're in, there's a lot of complex topics, complex ideas, and it's all about turning that into engagement. And so the clients that we have, so this is obviously not our full list of clients, but so KPMG, Totally Money, Freshfields, Savills, Unum, and yeah, they're all in that sort of B2B sort of knowledge services space. The type of video, the type of content we create, so it sort of it splits into 3 sort of types, I guess, which can then be sort of mixed and matched. But yeah, anything filmed, so that can be all the way through from sort of user-generated content, all the way through to full sort of dramatized pieces. We do animation. And also stock-led pieces, so that's a great way to cover a lot of ground, and we very carefully curate stock to create some really nice pieces. And then, as I say, you can then have varying mixtures of that. The way that we support, we offer sort of strategic input. We're scalable. We can do full delivery or plug-in support. Some agencies already have capabilities, a bit of capability, and we can come in and to sort of help support that. I'm watching the clock here as my 5 minutes counts down. We are creative nerds as well. So it's so in terms of workflows and everything, you have to be, on one hand, you have to create really incredible and compelling stories, but you also have to make sure that everything is working incredibly well. And that comes back also to that compliance piece. You have to make sure that the workflows have got all that sort of factored in. And with this partnership that we have with Diginius and with Microsoft Advertising, then we can stay abreast with all of the sort of latest happenings in sort of CTV and the compliance requirements around that. So I've come to the end of that bit. So I want to now show you a reel of recent work, just to give you an example of the type of stuff that we've been working on. So thank you very much.
Every single day, we come to work trying to help people thrive in the workplace, wherever that may be. We're a specialist employee benefits provider, and it's what's driving us to innovate faster.
Okay. So there we go. So thank you very much. And so I can pass back to, or shall I pass straight across to Trev?
Yeah, go ahead. We've now got Trev and Mish, last but certainly not least, from Yo-Yo Pop.
Oh, thank you all, guys. Really, really appreciate it. And lovely to see your work, Nick, and yours as well, John. Really amazing work, by the way. I love how you guys have zoned in on your skill sets. We're just going to bring
We're just trying to share our screen.
Yeah, because our deck at the moment wasn't working very well, so you're going to be showing you our show reel. I hope that's okay. And so, hi everyone, I'm Mish.
And I'm Trev.
And we are founders of Yo-Yo Pop, a motion-led creative agency, and we're based in London Bridge. And we want to say, firstly, a massive thanks to Genius, Nate, and the whole team, and 2 other creatives, big acts to follow.
Yeah, really lovely work. And it's hard to believe that we also, long in the tooth, with a shared 50 years experience in the creative industry. My career started in the early 90s in Sydney, Tokyo, and then back home to London, creating motion design for broadcast agencies, gaming studios, exhibition design. And what I love the most is pushing the software and the hardware to its fullest to see what's possible creatively.
Yeah. And I started at Channel 4 in the early 2000s, and I went on to MTV, Channel 5, and other networks. So broadcast is definitely in the blood. And for me, it's always about telling a story and combining graphics and time into content to speak directly to audiences. I think that's really how we met when it came to production.
And so when we met, we joined forces, and Yo-Yo Pop began about 10 years ago. And the idea was to combine our skills and experience to create what works with more meaning and less complex processes, less noise, more fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And our roles at Yo-Yo Pop, we share the creation always from the get-go. And that's why we found a really good balance between us that works.
Yep.
And for me, my role involves wearing many hats, and I bounce between ideation, design, editing, and just keeping bigger picture in view, really.
And for me, I'm the hands-on senior motion designer, Swiss Army knife. I work across 2D, 3D software and all the new emerging AI tools wherever appropriate.
Yeah, and some of our clients include Amazon Prime, UK TV, ITV. We've won awards for BBC Studios, and we spent 4 years creating ads for Suzuki in the Caribbean, and a 2-year retained partnership with Deezer, along with large agencies like McCann, AMV, and all manner of brands, big and small, we've worked with.
And we're just going to show you now a little short show reel of our work. If I can find it. Where are we? Here we are. And audio is on. So this is just a collection of our work. It's just to show our breadth of different styles and techniques. There you go.
Thank
a
you
little
very
bit of
much.
a little collection there of what we can achieve.
Yeah.
So I think Misha's next.
Yeah. So I would say in terms of our unique value proposition, it's without a doubt animation, and because there's quite a few, but that is integral to everything that we do. Design and animation is what we are, I suppose, most known for. Best known for, I would say. We're both hands-on throughout the process, first from the meeting to the end delivery, and you'll always have one point of contact. It's always going to be us. With simple workflows and less moving parts, we can maximize the creative and see faster results, less time and money spent in translation.
And we always start with a human first creative. With all the AI noise out there, it's vital that the ideas come from us us first and working with our partners. So with the process for CTV, we always start with what's most important, and it's you and your audience, integrating the key metrics and data, focusing on the brief. In our process, we'll focus on the brief, the brand, and any existing assets. We begin with sketches, mood boards, the script and outline animation, nailing down timings, music, and mood. Once everything is aligned, we move on to the production, incorporating 2D and 3D software alongside AI where appropriate. We build storyboards, share all this media seamlessly in a lovely process that you'll hopefully enjoy.
Yeah. And when we need to, we have a brilliant pool of trusted freelancers and specialists as well. We've met over the years who we use for certain projects, and we expand our team quite seamlessly and avoid bottlenecks and overspend as much as we can. And with the right conditions, we can turn the project around in a few weeks. Initially, we're confident handling 2 to 3 projects per month, and we can grow quickly from there.
Yeah, I think we can quite easily grow, and just working with teams to kind of depending on what's the requirements of the brief. I guess lastly, we just want to say again, like, thank you so much to Nate and to Genius and the team for bringing us in.
Yeah, it does feel like it's the perfect time, doesn't it, for ad campaigns and data and technology to combine all together.
Absolutely, and also working alongside the lovely guys, Rob and John, and your teams as well. Feel like we're in this lovely balance of different skill sets and aesthetics that could probably reach all the different goals that people are looking for. And we're really excited about the next steps.
And that's it.
Oh, thanks, Trev. Thanks, Mish. And thanks to all you guys. We're super excited here at Genius to be partnering with 3 very incredibly talented and different and, cool video production houses that are creating really, really cool content. We will have some kind of CTAs at the end if you guys want to know more. So stick around and we'll share everything at the end with everyone here. But now, without further ado, I am going to pass over to Lucas from Microsoft Advertising to take us through kind of the whole premium streaming kind of opportunity on Microsoft. Thanks, Lucas.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm pretty sure I have the less exciting presentation for you all after seeing all this amazing content and videos and animations. But we are inevitable. We are the channel is where you will finally show your amazing ads built by these people, right? My name is Lucas. I've been working in Microsoft for the last 3 years and in ad tech for like ever, kind of too old already. And my idea today is to show you essentially how we went from being just Bing, as you know, and to be like in the upper funnel in the premium streaming, CTV, Netflix, even just a little online video, because you can use your own assets as well, and show you some tricks. I hope you are seeing my screen because I'm in a single computer at the moment. Usually I have a bunch of screens.
You're all good, Lucas. We can see.
Nice, amazing. So essentially, I think Nate already mentioned it, but what we realized, and you all probably did as well, and this is why we have so many companies developing content, is that our attention is moving from a static, when we started in the web, right, like with images and taking pictures. Now everything is video, everything is way more fluid. I would say it's thanks to 5G, 4G, all these technologies. And our research showed that, well, this is for the US, but we can easily translate this to many cities around Europe as well, is that the users are spending around 4 hours a day in video content, right? Of course, this can be in streaming, this can be in their phones through smaller videos, this can be in their social, which is super nice for us developing video. It's a way more, let's say, qualified way for you to show your brands. But at the same time, this also demands a very complex strategy for us. We deal with brands, with agencies, or even directly with our own brands, let's say. We need to be multiple devices at the same time, in multiple screens, because it's very usual. For example, I'm doing this presentation, but I have the TV on, I have a phone that I might be checking some content in between. And this is pretty much everyone, I would say. So it's not just enough for you to be, of course, in premium streaming, but you need to be in multiple devices. We've been doing like premium streaming campaigns for many years now, and it's surprising how much a lot of people really watch them using a computer plugged to the TV, or they just watching the computer in the train or even in their phone. So premium streaming is around all kind of formats, even though we expect it to be more kind of TV, like through smart TVs or even devices like Chromecast or the Fire thing from Amazon, and on and on. But this is how people are, let's say, organizing. What's the complexity that it brings to the table? That for you as a brand and for us as a channel, we needed to be in more places, right? So our proposal, let's say nowadays, is a very strong and I would say very unique kind of setup, because we do have a lot of competitors in search. We do have big competitors in the gaming area, big competitors even in social, right? And of course, a bunch of domains and publishers and networks, but it's very unusual for them to be present in all these setups and growing as we are. As Nate mentioned, in 22, we acquired a DSP, formerly known as Xandr or AppNexus for the ones already in the market. But that allowed us to be, of course, the main thing that went to the news is we did, let's say, the technical and the monetization and everything for Netflix. But at the same time, it also allowed us to buy, let's say, more in the upper funnel through programmatic, right? And that's what landed what we rebranded this year, because it's not just CTV, it's OTV as well, our premium streaming solution, let's say, a product, right? How are we connecting this? Because you can see, for example, a couple of properties that sometimes people forget, but this is all part of the Microsoft environment. We have LinkedIn as a very strong social arm. Pretty much everyone here in this call does have a profile there. I can bet on that. And the same way, we have a very strong gaming presence through Xbox, and now we acquired a couple of companies that, as Nate also mentioned, like Activision, Blizzard, even King, from which we are already starting to not just buy placements, but understand the audiences there. And most important, our owned and operated properties, right? A lot of people forget, but Windows or even the Edge browser that comes with the Windows 11, comes with all the Windows nowadays, that brings over 1.4 billion users. Yes, it's a bunch of users. Then, of course, when they use the Edge browser, they use MSN.com because that's a new tab. MSN.com has, just to show you some numbers of how strong, let's say, we are, and people tend to ignore, right? How strong we are in all these different presences. For example, the second largest browser, even Microsoft 365 with all the different unique users. And the most important thing for me is that we are not just connecting all these different platforms and making audiences. We are also buying placements in many of them, right? So when you start thinking about premium TV, you can also land like a full funnel strategy, combining building audiences, people who saw certain ads in search and then showing them in premium TV and vice versa. So it's a very unique setup. How are we connecting all these different platforms through AI, right? I think Copilot made us like quite big recently because it's a very cool chat experience among many that are out there in the market. It's a very well-rounded product. Okay, so my idea today is not just discuss these different products, but start talking about the premium video buying, right? As we said, we've acquired this DSP, and since the beginning of this year, we really extended our, let's say, I will discuss the specifics on Netflix, but we also made available a lot of different streaming platforms, right? You can see most, I think the most famous are around here. And depending on the market, we do have more. For example, in some markets, we work with Amazon Prime. So markets we work with Max, which is going back to HBO, Roku, Hulu, Disney Plus. So pretty much all the players. And then, of course, let's say more networks, which are more famous for their content and their publisher side, like Weather Channel, CNN, Bloomberg, you name it. Okay, so this is giving us a very unique kind of positioning and a very unique kind of way for you to get to your users, right? I will discuss later not just the publishers we work with, but how you can plug audiences into it so you win a lot of time. Okay, talking about the products, I think from all these amazing companies we just saw the reels and the presentations, potentially the product that you will be working with, I hope I can play this video. It's just an example. Obviously, we went for our own product just to simplify. But this is the CTV offer, right? It's an unskippable ad. It's full screen. This is where you can tell the best story about your brand. Okay. How does it work in terms of you landing this into a campaign? You pay per completed view, right? It runs for most of Europe is around 1 cent to 2 cents per completed view. It's from 1 cent to 20 cents depending on the market, right? It does work in all kinds of devices. You can even exclude some, but in general, most of your volume will come from TVs, right? What kind of targetings you can work with? You can go audiences, right? I will discuss that in our next slide. You can go for specific ages, gender. I'm doing, for example, a campaign about cosmetics dedicated to women. This is something you can work with. The location target is super precise. For example, we are getting to the next Q4 will be all about retail. So people want to advertise close to their stores, so they get people to visit. This is something you can really plug in. And of course, genre targeting. We have around, I think it's around 30 different genres. So if your product is more into sports, for example, like apparel for sneakers, something like that, you can really focus in that particular genre. Okay. What is super cool before we jump in, what I really like about our offer, let's say, in premium streaming is since October last year, all the different audiences that you saw in that flywheel in the beginning, you know, like LinkedIn and all the different publishers, owned and operated properties we work with, we understand these audiences, right? And you can target them. We call them in-market audiences. I think in maybe Google calls them segments, different ways. But the cool thing is, instead of you relying just on the different publishers, as we've been doing TV forever, right? Like, okay, I'm in finance, so I want to be seen in Bloomberg or The Guardian, The Independent, because those are, I believe, are aligned, or Bloomberg, are aligned to finance people, right? Maybe I'm selling insurance, for example. The reality is this is kind of an assumption in how you build personas. But with our audiences, we refresh our in-market audiences every minute, and it's people actually looking for stuff based on what they search on Bing, based on what they were browsing in LinkedIn, based on what they were using in the Edge browser, or were they using in MSN, in the Windows usage. So it's very precise kind of behavior. For example, me, I'm based in Barcelona, I like football. So if I open my MSN, you will see it's all about football and the signings and everything that is going on right now. So the content really shapes. So instead of you having to rely on Sky, for example, because you think is aligned to your target, you can simply find the targets without this thing. Even though we do work with, you can see most of the most famous channels. This is for the UK. And I wanted to bring you some fresh data so you can see the average CPMs we are getting there. This is for connected TV. It's around $10, which I believe is probably 9 or 8.50 pounds, right? Then for online video ads, usually the CPMs are slightly lower. It's around $6, let's say. So it's 4 pounds, okay? This is just for you that you are already doing YouTube, for example. You're already doing a campaign. So you can think, okay, maybe these guys are cheaper. There's a reason for that. In many cases, when you're doing, especially when you're doing through a programmatic buying, there are ad tech costs or tech costs, as they call it. Doing our campaigns through MAP, the Microsoft advertising platform, you won't have this kind of extra cost added. So that makes us very competitive. Okay, so obviously give it a try. I think Nate also mentioned this. We don't have a minimum spending, right? So you can go right away. The same way we have this, let's say, information about the UK market, we have it for most markets in Europe, in LATAM, in North America, and in Asia. So if you need it, request it to the DGenius team, start thinking about your campaign. I'm always providing them this content, but if I added all the countries here, we will spend 3 hours in this call. Okay, so I brought just the UK just for you to have an example. Okay, and you can see Netflix down there. I think I will mention a little more about that soon. Okay, how does it work? If you have a premium streaming campaign in the markets in which Netflix has an ad-based subscription, right? Remember, we are not owners of Netflix. We do have a very cool partnership, but we depend on them making available an ad-based subscription, right? For example, in the UK, this is available in Spain, in France, Germany. But for example, in the Nordics, they haven't created it yet. So we are not able to show ads for people who are in the full subscription, let's say. Okay. So if you have a premium streaming campaign live with us, your CTV with super cool ads done by these companies we just been pitched before, you potentially, many of your impressions will come from Netflix as well. Okay. But it's not a guaranteed deal. If you want a guaranteed deal, Okay, this is something that we have available in MAP. The only thing you need to do is mention it to the Genius team. We will make them enable in our pilot. We call it pilot, but it's been running for 2 years. So it's, let's say, it's just like a more controllable way of seeing which brands are on. You can see this is available for the US, Canada, not yet, but Brazil, Mexico, UK as well, France, Germany, Spain, Australia, Italy, Japan, and South Korea. Okay, those are the markets in which they made it available for us. Again, there are no minimum spending commitments, but the CPMs are not super cheap, right? This is highly qualified audiences. And the way it works is super easy. When you go to the platform, you will see a bunch of deals available depending on the market you are targeting, the certain countries, and how long your asset, your creative is. If you're telling a big story about 60 seconds, obviously it will be more expensive, right? If you're telling just a short, like kind of a, as they call a bumper or a signature thing, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, then it's usually cheaper CPMs, okay? I wouldn't bring the CPMs here because I think it's kind of, there are many possibilities, right? And you do have certain targetings you can do. You can target, okay, you know, when you open Netflix, the things you will see first is the shows or movies or content you've been watching. And then, of course, what is top 10 in your country for that particular day. You can advertise for those top 10s, right? Or you can simply run on network, or there are specific targetings. For example, no, my campaign is for older people. It's life insurance, for example. So maybe it's more age inclined. So you can select a deal based on age, or maybe gender, or even genre. I've been speaking with the Netflix people because they are, let's say, expanding this offer. We will have more offers in terms of genre. I think we had 7 until last week, and now we will have more. Okay. So if you're interested in this, remember, Rich, Chester, Besmir, Nate, Easy on the Genius team. We enable your account, and then you can start selecting the deals that you like. Okay. What presence, let's say, and this is why I think I brought Netflix, because it's really part of everyone's routine. It's surprising how much hours. It's still leading, let's say, in terms of the selected streaming platforms. It's been a war out there. I know there's Paramount now, there's Disney, Amazon, of course, Netflix, and Hulu, HBO, Streamio. There are like a lot of different platforms. But the reality is that Netflix is still very part of the daily routine. We've seen, for example, people ask, okay, but what's the difference in the users, let's say, from the regular subscription with ads versus the one without ads, the traditional, the old one? We've seen like overlap of 90 to 93%. So they have pretty much the same behavior. It's not a different user. Perhaps it's a user that is more, maybe they have multiple streaming. So they, okay, I can take some ads because it's getting expensive having all these different signatures, the subscriptions. So they still have like a lot of overlap, let's say, with the non-ad users. Okay. You can see here, it's surprisingly, we asked, let's say, the users, which of the following video service do you currently use? Among Netflix users, 78% use YouTube. I think it's simply because of the access, and then the Amazon Prime. This is just to illustrate how fierce the war is around there. But you can see that this is still dominant by Netflix. Okay. And finally, we wanted to understand how the Netflix users, it's been going for, well, now we are going for the 3rd year, right? It started in late 22. We wanted to see how they perceive the brands, right? If it's still worth, or is it worth for your brands to be shown in this version? And the reality is that the results even surprised ourselves as well. They are super responsive to ads, to almost 20%. They do buy brands that they've seen. I think it's because it elevates your brand being in such a high level streaming platform, right? They tend to be quite loyal to the brands, right? And they even will, you know, like speak about your brand. 1 in 3 will mention your brand or even products they have seen through the ads in Netflix. Okay. The experience, when not all of us have seen, I think I brought an example. No. Well, I can show you later on. The experience, the advertising experience for the users is super let's say, easygoing. It's around 1 minute, 1 and 15 seconds window. It can be, of course, in stream if you're watching like a long movie, or it can be pre-roll, right? You know, when you got the dun-dun noise, before that, you will get your ad, and you won't get more than 3 times your brand per day, right? So it's a controlled frequency cap. It's not something you can change, and it's up to 14 times a week, right? So it's thought in a way to not generate fatigue to your users. Okay. The numbers of, let's say, everyone will ask, okay, but for how many unique users, for example, am I reaching in the UK? The reality is, since May last year, Netflix stopped sharing data about their let's say, all their users, not just in the ad-based subscription, but everywhere in the earning calls and everything. But this is how much the audience have grown in the last year, let's say, until May. And they already were like 2.5 million. So I guess by now it's maybe double or around 4 million. So it's a very solid audience, highly qualified. Okay. And finally, I think I will open for questions in the end, I think, if we have time. But then I would like to discuss more into, I think we went for super upper funnel with the premium streaming and between Netflix and our CTV offer. But when you start thinking about your brands, it's very popular that you think, okay, I want to get clicks, I want to get more performance. So our online video offer, it's where it naturally will go. Okay, this is a more maneuverable kind of media. You can do all kinds of formats, in stream, out stream. These can be skippable or not. You can target just a specific, like, let's say, just mobile, desktop, tablets, right? And the way you can work with this is insane. You can do impression-based remarketing, just people who saw the video, and then retarget them with a native ad, or even vice versa, do a search campaign, people who saw your ads, then you can do an online video and retarget these people. Okay, so that's my main goal, is to show you more upper to mid funnel kind of media. Okay. What is very cool of working with us versus, for example, if you work with more social kind of players, right? We do have a lot of different providers for the premium streaming, for the upper funnel and even the mid funnel, but not all of them are able to provide the search intent that a user had, right, as part of the audiences. So this is something that I really like to bring on, because usually when we go for a search, it means we are really inclined to buy that product or that service. So those are signals we do use to enrich the targeting for your premium streaming. So this is not very common to have all these different, let's say, targeting capabilities. Okay. Not just that, as I mentioned before, you can plug our e-market audiences. You can use your visitor audiences. For example, if you have a broad number of visitors, let's say at least 100K per month, right? Monthly unique visitors, you can plug your visitor audiences, and then people on their TVs will be seeing your ad, right? This is super interesting. For example, now we are heading for we're already starting to think about the retail season, right? Like with Black Friday, Christmas, Cyber Monday, all these different gifting opportunities. So imagine you do have a lot of visitors and you want to offer like a free shipping or a coupon for upsell to these users that are loyal to you. You can do a remarketing in premium streaming. So that's kind of a dream. When I started even on TV, it wasn't that easy. Plus, of course, you can plug similar audience. So you can find people similar to your visitors, right? You will see those audiences if you have tags placed in your page, in your e-commerce or everywhere. With us, you will already see similar audiences, so you can target these people on. And the one thing I mentioned before, the e-market audiences. Those are how we understand the users, and we provide these users to you based on their intents, on their behavior. Okay. I think this is the coolest part. It's not me just pitching these products to you, but showing what we have seen in terms of performance, right? If you do use connected TV, for example, this is just for connected TV, not even the full premium streaming, which is now way broader. We have seen around almost 20% lift in clicks if you have, for example, audience ads, native ads, display ads, even video. Just for after people seeing your brand, in their TVs or even like computers, but through a premium streaming in their streaming offer, it's around 18% increase in click-through rates. And the most important, and I think it's many of us, we do have I think most have a search campaign in place. And we always have these branded search campaigns with the very cheap CPCs, the ones that are around 1 cent, 2 cents, the ones we really want. And those are, I would say, is where most of the benefit of connected TV will land. We've seen almost a 10% increase in these brand searches, right? The ones that are like free users. Okay. In terms of the reporting, especially for the premium streaming, it's not a very actionable media unless you go, for example, for a QR code. This is available in premium streaming, but not in Netflix because of Netflix rules. It's a more brand awareness, or as I said, like a coupon or something that people can take on with them, but not click right on. So you will rely way more, let's say, in video views and in completion rates. Okay, so this is just for you to have an idea of what kind of performance you will get. And of course, there are some clicks, especially in the online video, but don't expect clicks or even conversions in a per funnel campaign. For that, you can do like a full funnel approach. Okay. And in terms of how to prepare your assets, we do have a 3-star kind of system. I think it's here. So when you upload your asset, right on the spot, we will tell you if something is wrong. But of course, for example, for Netflix, you will need a 3-star quality. And I think this is where all these amazing studios come in and they can help you get for all these kind of specs, right? And of course, if you're going for premium streaming, remember, this is not regular TV. So try to make it more classy as all the ads and pieces we've seen. Okay. And I think this was it for me. I hope I'm not super over time. Yeah, perfect. We do have 5 minutes. This for Q&A. I didn't want to waste everyone's questions. And I will give the word back to you, Izzy.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Lucas. I think quite a lot of the questions have been answered kind of throughout. Nate, I don't know if there was any that you wanted to bring attention to.
Yeah, so if anybody does have any more questions, just type them into the Q&A. A couple to kind of, yeah, Lucas, one of them just to confirm. So one of the questions, are we able to advertise on all these services via the normal Microsoft Ads platform? So just kind of the actual placement. So you go in there, you place them in the ads, and some of them you might have to contact our team to get whitelisted. Is there any other nuance to that, or?
Well, that's just for the Genius. For premium streaming, you can go there and launch a campaign now. You don't need to do, it's already available in the same platform that you do your Bing campaigns, not extra requirements. If you already have assets, you can go test it. So it's extremely easy. I think it's one of the things we made it very, let's say, social or easy for people to get to the upper funnel, let's say, for being on TV, right? I know we deal with a lot of SMBs, so we make it super easy for them to advertise. For Netflix in particular, because this is a partnership, they still ask us to enable these accounts, but there are no any requirements for the premium streaming.
There's a question, can we run it on DV360?
Yes, but for that we don't have, like, let's say, a company in our DSP offer. We call it Monetize, right? And in that we can provide you, let's say, with certain offers, so you can buy through Monetize through your seat in DV360. But this is not through MAP. MAP is the Microsoft advertising platform, so you will need to have a specific kind of conversation for that. And
so
of course,
the easiest is, yeah. So there are volume requirements in that?
I wouldn't say volume requirements, but it's a different kind of behavior. You will probably, if you're going to do it through us, like in our Invest solution, then you'll probably have like a specific contract. But if you're going to use to monetize, then it's another conversation. We can start with it, but it's an email away.
Yeah. Cool. Somebody's asking, thank you for the presentation. Can we have a sneak peek to the campaign creation slide or side?
Yeah, I can show you. Hold on. If you have any other question while I open this,
Yeah.
so I don't make everyone wait.
There's one, like a lot of people ask kind of the applications, and I think we went through some of those. It was on there, but like the audience targeting, I mean, that's a big one that people use, because you can say load, like if you have 20,000 prospects in your CRM, you can load that audience into a custom audience, and you can target just those 20,000, which is quite powerful. The other is, like, say if you go to a car dealership and they want to just do a postcode, you can do exactly that kind of area and postcode. And so those are some of the ways that companies are finding it extremely effective to really hyper target their target audience.
Yeah, they do, but keep in mind that you will need a certain, a big amount of users, because, and this is not just for us, but this is, we call this onboarding, right? And then you have your customer match rates. So if you're going for, imagine how the operation actually is, you will have, let's say, 20,000 users. We will need to find these users online, match our IDs through yours, if it's through clicks or email or phone number, if I correctly recall, and then find them online on their TVs. So this is a very complex operation. So you will need to have super fresh data, right? Like clean data, not clean from the sense of like not influenced, but clean in terms of being very fresh and updated. And of course, the match rates will be from 20 to 60%. So if you have 20,000 users, it actually means you will get perhaps 5,000. So you better start with like a way bigger audience. Okay. I guess I'm sharing my screen. I will just show you how easy it is. This is a demo account, right? So you can see it has like a gazillion campaigns, because there is no credit card or payment method here. But this will work just as yours. Okay. So here you will create a campaign. As we are discussing the upper funnel, it will be this lovely heart here about build brand awareness. Right? You can obviously build brand awareness in audience through native and display. But in our case, we are discussing premium streaming. Once you ask the DGenius team, and then they will email me, and your account is enabled for Netflix, this will be here, Netflix, but you can also go for premium streaming, right? In this case, let's just, for the sake of the example, go for premium streaming because it's more choices. Here is where you will add the ad. Let's say you're waiting for these amazing people to develop your ad, but you want to get all your campaigns ready, just to drag and drop the ad. Finally, you can proceed without the ad. Let's do it right now. And here is where you can plug all your targeting, right? You're already building an ad group. So let's say test live audience. As I said, you pay per completed view. Let's go for 2 cents or around that. You can do all kind of frequency cap. Like if you want more reach, you're trying to get more users to know your brand. So let's say maybe 3 per day, or even like 5. That's enough to have some recall for your brand. Then the location. Let's see. I want to target just London. I want Nate to see this ad, even though I know he travels quite often. I'll have some luck. United Kingdom, maybe here. Greater London area. That's it. You can see here the terms and conditions, because as I said, if your campaign is running in a country that has Netflix, you can agree to part of the inventory potentially going there, right? It's not guaranteed, but it might get some, so you can accept it or not. In this case, this account already agreed, so it's live there. Then you can have gender, age. This is for all. You can go for different genres. Like you can see it's 75 different, so you will find one that fits you. I will go for all of them. And this is where we plug the things I kind of pitched you guys, like the in-market audiences. You can see it's crazy amount of, like, for example, let's go for a retail thing like fashion or apparel and accessories. So let's go back to sports, like shoes, as I said, athletic shoes, right? So this is the targeting you will find for your CTV campaigns, right? Your premium streaming. And you can even plug specific audiences. As I said before, you can go for your own visitors. This is a demo account, so we don't have a brand to collect the visitors. But here you can have remarketing or even similar audiences, people similar to your visitors. And this is where you will plug your customer match lists, right? The ones you uploaded, we match it, and then you can target these people. So it's fairly easy. You can see that no specific enablement or anything came from my side. You can even exclude some of them if you want. And finally, you can go for specific devices. So no, I don't want any mobiles. I want just CTV, or maybe I want desktop as well, because people use computers plugged to a TV, for example. So maybe that's a way. Or perhaps it's a product that people watch on their train back home. So maybe they use a phone, so I will keep it. In general, we do keep it all. And that's essentially it. I mean, in terms, yeah, because I don't have any ads. But targeting is too narrow, yeah, because I want to target just Nate, so that's potentially the issue. But essentially, that's it. In the next step, you will set a budget and the bid strategy, which is simply CPCV. You don't have any other choice, and you're good to go. Okay.
Cool, thanks, Lucas. Just conscious of time. I know we've run over a little bit. But yeah, just want to put this last slide up. 1 second, everyone. Cool. Hopefully everyone can see that. Yeah, just wanted to say a massive thank you before we drop off to Lucas, to John, Nick, Trev, and Mish for joining us today. We are really excited here at Diginius to be able to kind of support our agencies with these opportunities on premium streaming. If you are a client of ours already and you're on this webinar and you do want to know anything else about what you've seen today in the webinar, or just generally about premium streaming or how you can work with these incredible video production agencies, do reach out to your account manager at Diginius. And alternatively, if you aren't currently working with us and you would like some more information, feel free to email us here at grow@diginius.com. We will be sending out all of the content from this webinar today as well, so feel free to reply to that email that you'll get in your inbox. So you will get the deck from Lucas, any Q&As that were asked, we'll provide all the answers, and also we'll share our premium streaming toolkit, which kind of goes over everything, and all of our kind of video partners, a little one page on all of them as well, so you can check those out too. But yeah, just again, a massive thank you to everyone who joined today, and yeah, have a great rest of your day, evening, morning, wherever you are, and we'll see you in the next webinar. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks so much.
Thanks all.
Nice evening.
Thank you.